Hopefully by now you have a good understanding of what the Nanovis surface is, how easy it is to apply, and really what I'm going to focus on are the commercialization benefits of the nano surface in the market. So whether it's a NPI, legacy implant, maybe a line extension that you'd be considering upgrading with Nanovis surface, that comes with considerable clinical and commercial benefits that are ready to be activated by your sales and marketing teams to drive growth with your physician and hospital customers. So my section will focus on that commercialization effort. So we'll talk about the advantages of the surface, which will repeat a little bit of what you've heard here so far today. We'll also talk a little bit more about the superior product label, share some of our market success, and then talk about just general availability of the surface, depending on your interest. Jessica, if you would, next slide. And that will be starting with the advantages. So when we lay this out commercially, really three core message elements that we believe truly differentiate the Nanovis surface in the market. And you can see those kind of along the top from left to right. I'm going to spend a little bit of time in each of these sections just going through why they're important and really thinking through from, a training of a sales force and thinking through marketing messaging. It really is simple to grasp and very effective as you're speaking with physicians and maybe hospital administration as well. But we'll start with the engineered nanotube. So as previously shared, Kriya talked about the nanotube surface being permanent. So this is not a coating. It's not a bonding. This won't go away after a few weeks, and it won't delaminate upon implantation. So the fact that we create this nanotube from the existing oxide layer ensures that that nanotube surface will be there for the lifetime of the implant. So one of the things that we like to talk about and actually comes back to us as being an advantage is that that surface being there permanently and for the life of the implant will allow for reosseointegration time and time again if needed. And it'll be there again for the life of the implant. As we move down on this core message element, we talked about tunability. So we talked about the size and the spacing and why that matters, and the fact that that drives a specific cellular response. So as we consider all the different markets, whether it's orthopedics and others, we recognize that having a range of control over nanotube size may offer significant benefits in bone growth, but also may offer benefits in tissue attachment. So for example, the tunability, if we take that size diameter down to 30 nanometers, we know with the studies that we've done that that is better for tissue attachment. We also know that at 70 nanometers, that is going to be a preferred diameter for osseointegration. So again, having control over this process and having that in our label certainly gives the OEMs great flexibility into the future. And then the final point here on the engineering is that we can specify the number of tubes, and we know that there are billions that are organized on the surface. So as we showed earlier, on a 6.5 by 55 pedicle screw, there are 150 billion nanotubes on that screw. So that really equates to 150 billion opportunities for cells to interact with the surface during the bone healing process. Okay, moving left to right. So our second core message element of grounded in science. So really, this is the culmination of all of the engineering work that was just mentioned. And this is the result of years of data collection, significant grant work that we had done, work with the NIH that we had done, studies both internally as well as corroborative on surface modifications and biologics, and those that drive bone healing at the nanoscale. And so we know that the size and the spacing matters. We know that the surface area and the surface energy matters. And we know that the healing benefits beyond just osseointegration, as Cree shared in our 4 pillars, is really important for really any orthopedic vertical, or if you're looking at dental implants, maybe cardiovascular, CMF, where there is high rates of infection, where there are areas where you don't have much vasculature. Again, this surface technology can do a lot of different things to promote healing. And then the final core message element is differentiated by data. So, as we talked about a little bit earlier, our surface has achieved the prestigious FDA nanotechnology designation. We talked about the criteria to be able to be in that select group of companies. And having that in our label truly does differentiate. And speaking of the label, kind of even furthermore on the nanotechnology designation is having that comparative data. So Cree had shared a little bit more about 21 days, osteoblast mineralization, mesenchymal stem cell mineralization. The fact that that's in the label and you've got that comparative superior data, that bodes very well for conversations, again, with physicians, hospital administrators, and really training up your sales force to be effective in selling a technology that is completely differentiated in the market. And then ultimately, as we think about kind of the final phase here, this whole in-label marketing, you see this in pharmaceuticals a lot, but the fact that you've got this data and this designation in label, it really allows for marketing campaigns to show differentiation, marketing campaigns to show superiority. And we have found through our experience that whether you're going for, contract access, technology price premiums, or if you're looking for market share gains or all of the above, quite frankly, the Nanovis surface can open up these opportunities for you. So that's just a little bit about the advantages and how we like to help our OEM customers think through positioning this in the market. Next slide, please. So Cree showed one of these IFUs earlier, and really I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple of things here. So on the left is an interbody fusion device. This was a commercially pure titanium. You will see here this label has a few different things. So what you won't be able to see because the text is very small is that we actually have specified the micro scale size of the porosity as well as the size of the nanotubes here. So you've got that story of that macro, micro, nano built into the label with the FDA designation. And then again, with this comparative data against other surfaces that are commonly used across med device. That's on the left. And then on the right is the pedicle screw IFU. This is ELI tied. So the fact that we've got both commercially pure and ELI, that really gives us confidence on that master file for referencing standpoints that, depending on what titanium substrate is being used for your implants, that, you'll have access to this type of label language for your implants as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's been proven success with this surface really from a host of different areas, but I want to talk about 3 validations with you, starting with our regulatory validation. So Nanovis was the first company in the world to get an FDA nano designation for pedicle screws, and we were the first company in the world to get an FDA designation for a porous titanium interbody. There are other companies, just a couple, that have achieved a nanotechnology designation in the market. We believe Nanovis is the only privately held company who has a nanotechnology designation surface who is offering that to OEMs. And we also know that our nanotube surface is very differentiated from any other nano surfaces, and we can talk more about that at a later time if interested. But we know that we've got that superior label, #1 label in the market, and that we've had the ability to prove this now over 9 product clearances. Moving to the right on the manufacturing validation, so over 60,000 implants have now been manufactured with the nanotechnology. This is growing by the thousands every week. So very excited about the growth, very scalable process, as Joe shared, and easy to manufacture. And again, kind of that final stage of the supply chain, which is helpful. And then I'll kind of just finish here with the market validation. I'm going to spend a little bit more time here. We've now had over 30,000 implants implanted in patients. Kareem mentioned that we have no adverse events that have been noted in the FDA MAUDE database. I can say that this number of human clinical implantations is growing literally by the thousands each month. And so we're very excited about the performance, very excited about the partnerships that we have in the market to continue to grow this utilization for patients. Moving down, the Nanovis surface has, in several cases, also achieved nanotechnology price premiums. We've also achieved hospital contract access and unique carve-outs. And really, the technology has been the tip of the spear for distributors or sales reps to drive surgeon conversation and surgeon conversions from other products. It really comes down to the science and the data and the label stand out from the commodity crowd and truly can be a differentiator for you and your market. And then finally, maybe most importantly from a market validation perspective, the Nanovis surface was recently announced that it is being licensed exclusively by Medtronic for spinal interbody fusion devices. So important to note that Medtronic didn't acquire Nanovis. That has been stated out there in some forums. The current license structure is specific to spinal interbodies. So that actually opens up the Nanovis surface to other OEMs in spine with products outside of interbodies. But also the surface is open for OEMs in really all the orthopedic verticals, dental, CMF, CV, and a host of other applications where implants need to perform well in the body. And then we'll talk about that on the next slide, please, Jessica. So here is a snapshot for us of really the markets and the products that we've been engaging in discussion with OEMs. So these are some of the areas that they've identified, some of the areas that we've identified, and in combination been exploring where the surface can truly have a clinical and commercial impact. Again, the only area right now that is off the table for the Nanovis surface technology is interbodies in spine. But again, a lot of applications here. And we're excited as we further kind of the current discussions that we've been having and then opening up any new discussions, here in the coming weeks or months with each of you. And the final point here, nothing really written, but I want to talk about really Nanovis goals. And that is, I think, kind of the main thing is that our goal is to help OEMs better heal millions of patients with Nanovis technology. So to do that, we know that we need customers. We're fortunate enough that we've got a few customers now, great customers. We've got several other conversations that are going on that look like they will result in customers, and we're excited about the future conversations as well. But in order to get new customers, we recognize that you have to have a simplified business model and that we have to make accessing this technology easy and cost effective. So I would say that we have checked the box on those, and we would love to talk through that in more detail with you, whether that is interest that you may have coming out of this call for an individual product, could be a portfolio of products that maybe you manage, or even for a specific market. We would look forward, really encourage you to reach out and look forward to having those conversations so that we could share more with you there. Jessica, if you go to the next slide, please. So how do you connect with Nanovis? So I think there's really a few ways. Again, if there is any interest in a conversation post-webinar, we invite you to email info@nanovitechnology.com. Nanovis leadership receives those emails. We can schedule a call rapidly to talk about maybe any questions that you have or thoughts that you may have about a product that you would consider applying the Nanovis surface to. So that's a way to connect directly. To connect indirectly with Nanovis, you've got a couple of ways. LinkedIn, tremendous tool. We would love to have you subscribe or follow Nanovis. We do a Tech Talk Tuesday, which is an educational series. So every Tuesday, there will be some education on our surface, but there are multiple posts throughout the week that will really continue to help educate you on the nano surface and its capabilities. And then our website. So our website, there's a tremendous amount of resources there, from white papers to surgeon impact stories. It would just give you a great way to confidentially go through and learn more about what we're doing. Great images, graphics, to kind of bring the nano surface even more to life.